Hi there, this is Christine Fitzgerald, the high school maths tutor. Today's question is, if f of x equals square root x plus 2 and g of x equals 3x plus 1, find g of f of x with its domain and range, and explain why f of g of x does not exist. Firstly, before we find g of f of x, let's just double check that it does exist. So we need to look at the domain and range of each function. Function f, function g. For f of x, it's a square root graph, and if we have a quick look at it, it's come across 2 units to the left, shaped like that. This is f of x. So its domain is from -2 to infinity, and its range is from 0 to infinity. G of x is a straight line, goes forever in both directions. Its domain is R and its range is R. For g of f of x to exist, the f function is being subbed into g. So the range of f has to be a subset of the domain of g. Now we might have a look at that over the page. The range of f must be a subset of the domain of g. Now the range of f is 0 to infinity, and we found the domain of g was R. Therefore, now this must be a subset of this, must be contained within R, it must be totally within, and it is. This is totally within R, therefore the range of f is a subset of the domain of g. No part of this lies outside of all real numbers, so it's satisfactory. Therefore, g of f of x exists. So we're okay to go ahead and find it. And to be honest, the question may not have required that, but I've done it as a check, I've done it to teach you, and seeing as part B asks us to explain why the other one doesn't exist, gives you some theory on exactly what you need to show for that. So we're ready now to find g of f of x. And we substitute the square root of x plus 2 into 3x plus 1. The square root of x plus 2 replaces the x in 3x plus 1. We need its domain and range. So again, let's have a quick look at the graph. I'm a big believer in knowing how to draw your graphs. You'll see me do this many times. Square root function normally starts at 0, but we've moved 2 to the left and 1 up. And the 3 dilates it, makes it a bit steeper. That's okay. So the domain is -2 to infinity, including the -2, and the range is 1 to infinity, including the value of 1. Now we do question B, which asks us to explain why f of g of x doesn't exist. So we want the range of g, and that was equal to R. We also need the domain of f, and that was equal to -2 to infinity. Now the question is, does the range of g fit into the domain of f? Is it a subset? Is this is totally contained within this domain, and it's not. There are elements here that are outside this end of it. So the range of G is not a subset of the domain of F. Therefore, F of G of X is undefined or does not exist. Using the wording in the question, we'll say does not exist. And that's all you need to show. Clearly showing this and making that statement. I think that was a bit of a long one. If you have any queries about it, any questions at all, post a comment below. Thank you. Bye.